Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play another Pay Me No Mind. Hey, come on, man. I'm working. I'm working. Some bite down boxing talk. My name is Wood. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that like button. Boxing. Wow. I'm kind of all over the place with my attention to the game right now for various reasons. But you know, if you're in the Michigan area, if you're up in Detroit, in the Detroit area, up in Michigan, excellent card. Really excellent opportunity to check out a world ranked heavyweight, top 15 heavyweight in Otto Wallin, and then also a rising super lightweight prospect, or contender maybe / contender, but Shojahan Ergashev. All of that is Thursday night at the Dearborn Performing Arts Center. I think that's what it's called. But the event is being put on by Salida Promotions. And, you know, that's an excellent opportunity for less than $50, I want to say, to check out a quality heavyweight. You know, a guy who arguably should have fought Dillian White. If you know, Eddie Hearn and Dillian White didn't pull out to go get smashed up by Tyson Fury, Otto Wallin could have had that fight and could have possibly even emerged victorious and maybe had a shot at facing Tyson Fury for the rematch. So, you know, to see a fighter of that caliber stateside for a decent ticket, it's not bad. Normally, I would have been in the house. That's Thursday night. That's a Thursday night fight. Normally, I would have been in the house. I really mulled it over, trying to make a trip up to Detroit, check out some family. And then I had a cycling play in there because I want to link up with some people in Detroit that I knew. But didn't work out that way. So... and then it's, you know, it's some decent prospects on the undercard, but it's not a bad seat in the house. You know, it might be some fighters in the building. You know, Alicia Baumgardner might be ringside, or they might recognize her in the ring or something. Now that she's a world champion, just a good night of boxing, in my estimation. So I hate to miss it, but you know, I gotta be able to cover my costs. And I've been unable to do that. So I got to pass on it. So getting to this situation with Claressa Shields, the unified middleweight champion, or super, I think it's middleweight. Yeah, middleweight. And the WBO champion, Savannah Marshall. I just saw the article earlier today. It's on Boxing Scene. And Claressa is saying that she might not be able to hang around and wait for Savannah Marshall, who underwent a medical procedure of some kind, sustained an injury in her last fight, her victory over Femke Hermans last month. So the fight with Hermans was like April 2nd, and here it is. May 20th or May 21st or something is when Savannah goes and has some procedure done that pushes the fight back. This is like the second or third delay. You know, at the end of last year, both of them were supposed to appear on, I think they were supposed to maybe co-headline a card. Savannah Marshall, I think, had an injury. I think that's how she ended up. That idea was split up. Then they moved Claressa Shields and her last opponent, Kozin or whatever. That became the co-main event to another fight. And that main event got pushed back. So it's just been all kind of problems that have seemingly derailed this showdown between Shields and Savannah Marshall. And so now Claressa Shields comes out and says, well, she has contractual obligations to the PFL. she had a window of time to get this fight in and then resume her MMA career. But now, and then she said it was a early July date and then an end of July date that they were looking at. And now this, hey, and now this incident comes up and they're looking at possibly September. Then I think they also threw it out there, maybe early 2023, there's a possibility. Hey, man, Apollo, this knucklehead. And so maybe early 2023, they could have fit this fight in. But Claressa's come out and said that, you know, she's not willing to halt her career for Savannah Marshall. I got something to throw at this dude. You know what? Coming on what we saw a few weeks ago, all the praise and the buzz for Amanda Serrano, and Katie Taylor, the undisputed super middleweight crowning of Franchon Cruz-Dezurn for her bout against Elin Cederroos. That's unfortunate. I'm not really, I'm not going to get into any of the conspiracy theories and what Savannah Marshall might be trying to do this. It was just a lot of talk with Castaño and his postponement of the fight against Jermell Charlo. Then we got the fight of the year. Jermell Charlo bumped up into everybody's pound for pound rankings and so on and so forth. And boxing was all a buzz. And nobody said anything about the postponement that happened before the fight. So, I'm not going to sit here and go down that rabbit hole of pointing the finger and whether or not Savannah Marshall is scared, whether Claressa is scared about going over and fighting in Marshall's backyard. I know that was some talks out there about that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The one thing that I do recall, I think, the 2-fight deal for Claressa to go over here to this boxer platform and to go down this road and make the undisputed fight was a seven-figure play for her, or payday. And so taking into consideration what might be on the table or what's locked in for her with the PFL, I can't see them laying out that type of money for her. But like I said, I'm not trying to point the finger at either side. If that's what Claressa wants to do, then I guess that's how she'll proceed. I'm gonna keep it a buck, though. In my opinion, I can't see the PFL. Maybe short and long term. I don't know if I can see the PFL being the path to her getting 7 figures over there. I think this female that beat her, I think she was a Mexican fighter, but she got the split decision against her. That's going to be the easiest opponent. Maybe the first opponent was, but that's going to be the easiest step-up opponent for her. And we saw that she was defeated by that girl. So, again, I don't think in 2023, I don't think Claressa, if she's thrown in the deep end of the PFL, I really don't foresee her learning how to swim that quickly and being successful if it's I don't want to say if it's a regular opponent, but like if they just threw her name, threw Claressa's name into a hat with all the other PFL fighters, because I think it's a tournament style thing. So if we take you out of these showcase or exhibition fights or these fights to get a baseline on what you were, and you don't look good against the second person that you face, and now we throw you into the regular field, I don't really see her being that successful. And that's no knock against her determination, her commitment, her desire to be successful in that sport. It just comes down to, I just don't think it's a gap that she can close that quickly. That's just my opinion on it. I tip my cap to her for wanting to do it and for trying to do it. But again, looking at that fight, and I know some diehard Claressa Shield fans will give her a lot of credit and more praise for how she looked in that fight, what she did accomplish in that loss, and the growth that she did have. I can't speak on how another person values what they see. I give her credit. I did see some growth, and I see her working on some things and trying to figure it out. But if I extrapolate that out, like I said, against a normal opponent, someone who's in the mix to really win that ultimate prize for the PFL, I don't see it working out well for her. I just don't. But, you know, again, if that's what she wants to do, then that's her prerogative. I think for me, if it's a way to make this fight with Marshall happen, especially with her being the favorite in the eyes of many, I think you go get that bag, and you have that phenomenal moment. You know, that's my read on it. But ultimately, more so than trying to predict what happens, and like I said, casting the aspersions on her as an MMA fighter and whatnot, I just think it's unfortunate that she can't capitalize on the buzz that was created by the Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight, and that, you know, she can't be next to carry that momentum, and like I said, and the benefit from that buzz and the run that women's boxing is on right now. And let's keep in mind though, let's not overlook the fact that the 140 pound undisputed fight between Chantel Cameron, who fought this past weekend, and the other unified champion, Kaylee Reese, that's held up over Reese just had a procedure, or she's recovering from an injury, and that's prolonged that matchup. So let's not sit here and get all into the conspiracies and trashing Savannah Marshall or whatever, when it's happening in this other situation where we haven't heard a great deal of what the injury is with Reese. And I had Reese on, I did an interview with Reese, and we touched on it, but she didn't seem too willing to divulge what the issue was. So that's like I said, that fight is kind of out there, and it just is what it is. So similarly here, that's how I'm looking at the potential bout between Claressa and Marshall. I think if they could make it happen, and if everything was on the up and up, it would happen. I said I don't understand. Maybe after the fight, maybe after Savannah Marshall's fight, maybe it was a matter of some kind of swelling or some damage that had to heal up to a certain degree before they could go and do the surgery. Maybe that's why it's been this 5 or 6 weeks before this procedure took place. I don't know. You know, boxing isn't like the other major sports where we learn all the details about an injury. Boxing, you kind of get what they're willing to share. So I don't know. It's unfortunate. That's all I really wanted to chat about. Like I said, Thursday night up in Dearborn, Michigan. Anybody in the Midwest that can get to that fight, man, that's an excellent opportunity to see a heavyweight. Valine is taking on Rydell Booker. You know, kind of depends on what shape Booker comes into the ring. Typically, he's overweight and not looking the greatest. But like I said, you know, Ergovich was a guy that was a fight away from facing Tyson Fury. And in some respects, You know, he had a better outing against Fury than Wilder did in 1 or 2 fights, in some respects. So that's a good opportunity to see, like I said, a world ranked heavyweight, and then also the Shojahan Ergashev cat. We see Josh Taylor is no longer the undisputed champion in title, but Josh Taylor no longer has all the 4 belts at 140 pounds. They had that meeting last week with like the 6 top WBA guys. That's the belt that he lost. So Ergashev was not in that mix. But I think, you know, Ergashev could be a guy when the rest of those belts get relinquished. He could be a dude that's in the mix for an eliminator of some kind. You know, I think... and then Veyron, the dude that he's fighting... he was the one that caused the Top Rank to walk away from Elvis. Is it Elvis Rodriguez? Is that his name? Anyway, I'm way down the road. I shouldn't even started traveling down. Let me get on out of here. Bite down boxing. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.